Welcome to the Nightly Rant
with
your hosts, Mike
and Torya.
This is the show where we examine society from a sarcastic point of view.
If you like insane conversations, this is definitely the show for you.
Let's get into today's topic. So today I got 2 words for you.
Oh, yeah?
Cancel culture.
Oh, good.
So, do you remember where it all started?
No.
Like around the time of the pandemic, if anyone said anything that they disagreed with, they would research who they were and go to their boss and get them fired.
Okay.
Or celebrities that would say something that they didn't like, they would make sure they didn't work anymore. Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that was justified because of your own actions. You did something that society doesn't like, and so it was justified to come after you like that. There's nothing more glorious than when idiots like that have their own rules for society come back and bite them in their own ass.
For example?
This past weekend, some crazy lunatic tried to take out Trump. And so there was an assassination attempt on Trump. And a bunch of people online have been posting things like, oh, they shouldn't have missed and blah, 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 blah. So far, I've seen at least 7 people in prominent positions get fired. One was a woman who worked for the congressman who ran the January 6th committee. And she said that he should have better aim next time. She got fired.
As she should.
Then a fireman, by the way, the man who died was a fireman, made the comment that couldn't have just been 1 inch more over.
Disgusting.
And he's now whining that people are attacking his family, his friends, his coworkers, and that he resigned his job because of all of that, and that he doesn't think it's right. And wow, but you said someone else should die. I don't care who it is. I don't like Joe Biden, but I don't think Joe Biden should get shot in the head. I don't like Gavin Newsom, but he shouldn't get shot in the head. I don't think anyone should do that to anybody. That's ridiculous.
Are we entertained these 7 people got fired because cancel culture came back to bite them in the ass? Or are we entertained by these 7 people being fired because we support canceling people who are disgusting human beings?
Both. See, what I think is the people supporting them are like, oh, what happened to you guys being against cancel culture? How is that a defense?
Canceling somebody because of something they did 60 years ago in their childhood now is significantly different than canceling somebody who says they wish the person would have aimed better shooting at the former president.
Yeah, it's a lot different.
Just a smidge.
And one of those people worked for a senator.
Wow.
Another person was a fireman, and another person was a fire chief. All got fired. And then some other woman who worked as a nurse in New York, I believe, worked for the Presbyterian Hospital, fired.
Presbyterians did not approve?
All of these people making comments that they wished the shooter had hit the mark.
Didn't they learn anything from the people a few months back when the Israel-Palestine stuff started and these people were like down with America, pro with Hamas, and their jobs fired them or offers were rescinded for post-college offers? Did these people learn nothing from that?
Clearly not.
That being a disgusting human being is a cancelable offense?
But I think it's humorous that they try to use the, oh, I thought you guys were opposed to cancel culture argument, because that doesn't mean just because you bring it to someone's attention that someone is a disgusting animal doesn't mean you're for cancel culture in general.
I've unfortunately unfollowed Jack Black, Kyle Gass, and Tenacious D.
Wow, good for
all
you.
Of the places.
Good for you.
My love for Jack Black is gone. How sad is that?
It's not sad. It's sad that they said what they said, but it's not sad that you took action. I think that's great that you took action. People need to stand up for their principles more often.
It's just never expected him to be a disgusting human being wishing another human being got shot in the head on national TV in front of a bunch of other human beings, including children.
And this is the thing, though. This is the problem with our society today. I was commenting on the situation where Trump's federal case got dismissed because they said that the appointment of the special counsel was illegal. if that person is a U.S. attorney or has been a U.S. attorney, they can be appointed by the attorney general to be a special counsel without the approval of the president or the Senate. But if they're a private citizen who doesn't work for the government, but yet they have the qualifications to be a special counsel, the president has to nominate them and the Senate has to confirm them, just like any other federal position of authority. And they did neither with this guy. He was not a U.S. attorney. He was an outsider. Hence,
All right.
problem. Okay, so I'm talking to them about this. And I merely point that out, that then they have to throw in the classified documents. He had the blah, 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 blah. And, oh, what a great secure location it was in the bathroom at Mar-a-Lago.
His locked stronghold of a Florida house?
I said, oh, let's not talk about Biden and his super secure location. Banker's boxes in the garage next to his Corvette. Let's not talk about that. So then this guy comes in and those cases are different. They're totally different. Blah, 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 blah. What these idiots don't know is I can review their comment history. And so I did review his comment history.
But they completely get different. One took the documents legally while being the president of the United States.
I did point that out.
The other one did not.
I did point that out to him, but he kept saying blah, 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 blah. And I said, look, one thing you'll find about me, and you can easily check it, is that I'm consistent. If I believe something, every single thing that something affects, my view changes in that direction. I'm consistent. I'm not the guy who has his phone number changed on 5 of his websites, but not all 10 of them. I don't leave loose ends. And then I said to him, but you clearly have TDS in a big way. So he comes back and he goes, first of all, you're completely wrong about the last sentence in that message. And as for everything else about that message, you're just a complete liar. You're not consistent. You're biased. So I came back and he called me names and all this stuff. And I said, see, you just proved that you have TDS. You went off on me because I didn't agree with you and you called me names. I said, but here's the thing. I'm not saying I'm biased because I don't believe that I am, but you do. But I'm going to tell you something. Saying I'm biased doesn't defeat the concept that I'm consistent. If I'm biased, meaning I'm constantly in favor of person A, then I will always be in favor of person A because I'm consistent.
You want to know what's funny about the term TDS? You can really use it to describe all of the extreme political views.
Yeah.
Because you're either deranged in his favor or deranged against him.
Totally agree. And I don't know. But my point is, there's the immediate rhetoric. You don't agree, so you're a liar. Could it be that maybe you're mistaken? Maybe you just don't know. But that doesn't make you a liar. And like I said, just because you're biased doesn't mean you're inconsistent.
Right.
And I pointed out how I wanted those two situations be handled the same way. So my thought process was, if you're going to indict this guy, you got to do it to this guy.
Now they're not indicting either.
They still could. They could come back and file again. They're going to appeal. You know that. But in any event,
I really think they should just let it go at this point.
I do too. In any event, I feel like, they keep asking for the temperature to be brought down and stuff like that.
Putting wood on the fire.
Well, and stuff like that. Exactly. And stuff like that. People shouldn't yelling and screaming. And quite honestly, if Biden was smart, if I was advising him, I'd be like, look, sir, there's no way you should refile against this guy. You need to instruct your attorney general to just let it go and accept that we lost and it's over.
Because they dropped the charges against Biden because he was mentally unfit.
Because you know what's going to happen? They don't do that. Trump's going to win and he's going to pardon himself.
Right.
And then it's all over. And then Biden
so why are we
looks like a
waste
jackass.
6 more months of resources?
When Biden looks like a jackass by appealing, knowing it'll never be done by the election. So basically knowing that the appeal is useless.
He looks like a jackass because he's going to waste taxpayer dollars on something he's knowingly going to lose.
Yeah. It's just dumb. And that's what I would do. I would just let it go. Right. Why not? At this point, it's useless.
And at this point, it's going to add fuel to the inflamed public.
Yeah, and just raise the temperature even more.
If he truly wants everybody to basically chill the fuck out, then he needs to also chill the fuck out.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting. That's why I told you the story about the guy online. Because the guy online went immediately from 0 to calling me a bitch and all this stuff. And I laughed and I was like, ha, you just revealed yourself to be exactly what I said you were. And that's all I said. And I sent it. And I'm like, yeah, but I bleep you. Let's forget it. I'm not going to sit here and have a discussion with somebody like that
The internet
because
has
they're not
ruined
ever going to
people.
talk. Yeah, that's because they hide behind a fake name and a computer screen. You notice people don't generally talk to you like that in public. There's the rare exception.
They say the introduction of chemical preservatives into everybody's food ruined people, but I think it was the internet.
Yep. I agree. It gives certain people this feeling of power that they then become addicted to.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to have fun with it. Stuff like that. There you go. Just revealed your true self, just like I said. Send.
Doesn't take much for them to reveal them true selves.
No, because it's their true selves.
I can't believe I got yelled at and called a leftist the other day.
Yeah, that happened to me too. When the whole assassination thing went down, you know me, I'm taking the middle road. I'm not going to believe the conspiracy theories.
Right.
They're going to have to show me evidence.
We're going to partake in all the
And
conspiracy theories, though, because they're...
So I'm getting told that I'm a Democrat and I'm getting told I'm a Republican. And you want to know what one bright person said when I complained about that? Maybe you need to communicate more clearly. And I said, number one, I don't believe in tagging into any particular team. Sorry. I go, but number two, communication is a two-way street. Why aren't you taking responsibility for completely misunderstanding? And I said, how do you possibly read through and hear me saying that I was going to vote one way, but now I'm going to vote another way? How can you possibly label me incorrectly at that point? It makes no sense. You're the one not paying attention, which is part of communication, of course.
I'm going to make a t-shirt for Thought Merch. It's going to say, whoever isn't a fucking idiot, 2024.
You got to make it look like a campaign logo, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be funny.
I know how to make campaign logos.
We'd give you the website address, but it's being redesigned, and so don't go there.
If it's finished by the time this is released, he will put the website address and the link to that exact t-shirt in the description.
Yes. It should be, actually, when I think about it. But better safe than sorry.
Especially with the way life goes.
I can also edit it if I have to. Anyway, I think that lowering the temperature is a good idea.
Especially in the city of Las Vegas.
And that's what I told you yesterday, that it was bothering me that I was getting sucked into that BS.
Yeah.
And that's why, like today, I decided to state the situation. And I was like, you know what? If someone's rude, I might just respond with a single sentence, which is what I did. End of story. Other people not responding.
Fair?
Yeah, you didn't say much about it.
You're way angrier about it than I am. I'm just the comic relief today.
That's good, because you were funny.
As usual.
Listen to her, people. As usual. We're going to take a poll, see if you're funny or not.
No, because it'll hurt my feelings and I'm not into that.
What's funny about stuff like that? It's the epitome of don't ask the question if you don't want to hear the answer. So you're right. I don't want to take a poll like that, because if the poll turns out the opposite way I would like it to turn out, I'm going to feel bad.
Exactly.
And sometimes it makes you give up on things when you do that. It's just weird.
Not in. Don't you dare put a poll out.
Many people are that way too. Seems like the majority, actually.
Yeah.
Where we're sensitive about that kind of stuff.
But I already know that most people don't think that I'm funny, so it's okay. My people think that I'm funny.
I don't understand that, though. But I suppose it makes sense, because if you're friends with a certain type of person, then that type of person is going to at least appreciate the type of sense of humor you have. And there you go. Then they'll find things funny. But if you're with somebody who's like completely not your type of person, they're not going to understand your sense of humor.
Right.
So they're just going to be like, I was supposed to be funny? Huh, all right.
Yeah.
The world is a weird place these days. And I'm getting old enough where I've seen plenty of the shifts happen. Like 1, 2, 3, 4 shifts have happened in my lifetime.
Wow.
This one was the hardest left I've ever seen a shift.
Raise your hands, everybody, if you crave a Monica Lewinsky scandal instead of all this bullshit we have lately.
Oh my God, that's disgusting. You want an intern to give Joe Biden a blowy. That's
No.
disgusting.
No, I meant a similar scandal. We could go with
Well, you
Jill
didn't say
Biden and a
similar.
male intern. Like, I really
Well,
don't
that's a
care.
little more palatable, but even that's not that great. She's like 71 years
At
old.
least Jill Biden can get an erection.
With that, I think we should end here. I don't see how we talk. I just don't. First, do you realize that's 2 of the last 3 first ladies that people are acting like that? Like, they used to call Michelle Michael.
Good night, everyone.
Hasta la bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Nightly Rant.
If you enjoyed the show, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Google Play.
If you didn't enjoy the show, please just ignore that previous request for a rating.
This has been a Yogi's Podcast Network production.